Hello everyone, welcome back to this short video on how to tap. I will go through all the tapping points in the EFT technique, emotional freedom technique. The EFT tapping technique process starts with an inquiry. We invite some gentle curiosity to what is currently present for us, to become more familiar with what we are intending to move in the session. And what can help us inquire are questions such as, what is happening for me right now? And it's helpful to close the eyes or soften the gaze, whatever feels safe and comfortable. What is happening for me right now? Once we find the sensation, where in the body can I feel this sensation? And it could be the belly, it could be the hips, the head, wherever it is, just locating the sensation. If this sensation had a color, what would it be? Just letting the body speak. We're not trying to imagine a color or force anything. When you focus your attention on that sensation, on that space in the body, things and answers and clues will come. So just checking in if there is a color. If this sensation had a consistency, what would it be? Maybe it would be sharp and fragmented or spiky or smooth or metallic, heavy. Whatever it is, it's right just for you. Let the answer come from within. The next question could be, how big is this sensation? How big is this sensation in my belly? How big is this fear in my belly? Is it just one and small, or maybe there is multiple points where I can feel it, where I can sense it? Maybe it's so big it's spilling out onto my back, onto my lower back. Maybe it's taking all that space in between the chest and the hips. How big is it? If you were to give it an intensity, a number from 1 to 10, 10 being the most intense and 0 being nothing at all, what would it be on that scale? And if this sensation had a feeling, had an emotion, what would it be? So maybe there is a heaviness, a feeling of heaviness in the chest. What would the emotion of this heaviness be? If this heaviness had an emotion, would it be grief? Would it be sadness? Would it be loneliness? Just gently inquiring. In the EFT, we encourage to gauge an intensity of the sensation we're working with. And the reason why is that often, once we've moved and a certain energy has transformed, a certain emotion has transformed, it is difficult to remember what it was like at the beginning. It's really difficult to recall it because it's already moved, and we don't want to feel the intensity of what it was at the beginning, but we do want to monitor or just observe the change. And that scale of intensity just gives us a really good reference point, because we can give the sensation we're working with a number at the end of the session as well. And using the same scale just gives us an idea of what's changed, what transformed. Because that sensation can transform, the quality can transform into something completely different. So just monitoring what the changes in our process can be helpful. So once we have inquired into what we are taking care of today, what we are making space for today, what we are looking after or giving love to or space to, and we have given it a number, we can then move on to the setup phrase. The setup phrase is the beginning of the process in EFT. It's when we start to tap already. A setup phrase, what it does, it really helps to invite some acknowledgement for the reality we are facing. We tend to invite illusion into our lives when there's something that's difficult for us to face, when the emotion is big and uncomfortable. We don't want to feel the discomfort. So often we will deflect or we will push away what feels like a difficult emotion to feel. And the setup statement brings in that a little bit of awareness, acknowledgement, and helps us to move through the resistance we have that has to do with that discomfort, and brings acceptance as well. So setup phrases can sound anything like even though I feel all this sadness in my belly, I love and accept myself anyway. Even though I feel this sadness in my belly, I am a good person. Even though I feel this sadness in my belly, I can accept it just for today, just for now. And what's important with the setup phrases is to make them ring true to you, is to make them feel honest. So if you're not resonating with the sentence, I deeply love and accept myself anyway, then amend it. Amend it to be truthful, to feel honest, for you in this moment. So once we are going through the setup phrases, we are tapping on the karate chop point, which is located on the side of the hand, just in the lower part of the hand here. And we're tapping on that point. I like to use 4 fingers. On my face, I use 2 fingers. There is no law on how many fingers to use. Once you become more comfortable with the points and you're confident that you will be covering the meridians that we're aiming at, you can make your decision on whether you feel it feels more right for you to use 2 fingers or 4 fingers. It's completely up to you, and there's no rule about that. So we're tapping on the side of the hand on the karate chop point all the way through the setup phrases. And often we will repeat those phrases 3 times. And the reason being is that it just gives us a little bit more time to arrive in the body, to drop into the body gently. EFT is a conversation with the body. We are making space for sensations that reside in the body, for energy that resides in the body. So it can be helpful just to give yourself a little time to arrive, to land. So throughout the setup statements, karate point, it's up to you how fast or how slow you are tapping. And when it comes to the pressure, my friend gave me a really good advice once, and she said to tap as if I was tapping on someone else, because we do tend to be much gentler when it comes to other people than we are when it comes to ourselves. And it really did help me a lot. And I sometimes just remember how gently would I be tapping on somebody else, or how gently would I be tapping on a younger version of myself. Just induces some compassion, some a gentler touch. So after we have finished and completed the setup statements, we can move to our first point, which is at the top of the head. So we're tapping at the very top of the head. You can find the top of your forehead and then just go a little bit further back. Tapping at the top of the head. The next point will be the inside of the eyebrow. So where the eyebrow begins, just this line here. So tapping at the inside of the eyebrow. Then we move on to the outside of the eye. Moving to underneath the eye. Moving to underneath the nose. So in between the nose and the upper lip. Moving to under the lower lip, the chin here. Then we move to the collarbone point. The collarbone point can be found if you press your shoulder blades away from each other at the back here and do that. You'll see dents just underneath your collarbones. And these are the collarbone points, the acupuncture points here that we're looking for. So where the shadow falls, is the point where you want to tap, just underneath the collarbone. It can be a little bit sore, so just staying nice and gentle. The next point is under the breast. So we're tapping just here, under the breast. We are tapping for those of you who wear bras, who wears a bra. It's the under wire of the bra, just underneath the breast. And then we move on to underneath the armpits. So it's just here, just underneath the armpit. Again, for those of you who wear bras, it's just on the bra line. So a little bit lower than directly under the armpit. Then we move on to inner wrist. Just across the wrist here. Then we tap on the side of the thumb, the side of the index finger. So just here. The side of the middle finger. Side of the ring finger. And the side of the pinky. And sometimes I will tap on both sides. Sometimes I will just tap on one side. It's up to you, whatever feels right. And then we go back to the top of the head. Top of the head. Inside the eyebrow. Outside the eye. Under the eye. Under the nose. Under the lower lip. The collarbone. Under the breast. Under the armpit. Inner wrist. Side of the thumb. Side of the index finger. Side of the middle finger. Side of the ring finger. And side of the pinky. And then going back to the top of the head. We go back to the karate chop point when the sensation moves, transforms. So if the anger in the belly becomes fear in the chest, or loneliness in the back, or grief in the hips, whatever else it is, we will redo the setup statement, the setup phrase, and we will go back to tapping on the karate point. Otherwise, we just keep to those points that I've just shown. Here, there, tapping away, tapping away, tapping away, and then back to the head. It doesn't matter which side you tap on, because the meridians in our body are mirrored. So if you're tapping on the left side, you are stimulating the same meridian lines as if you were to tap on the right side. Some people like to tap on both sides, which is absolutely fine as well, if that feels comfortable to you. Tapping on both sides is perfectly fine. I like to tap on the left side sometimes, just to challenge myself, because naturally I will just tap on the right side. I will be covering the right side because the right hand is my dominant hand. So it's sometimes good to mix it up, use my left hand too. Otherwise, just check in with yourself what feels good to you. I think that covers all the points, tapping points, and I hope that this was helpful. And I really hope you can join me and tap along in my next videos.